Good afternoon, fans, and welcome to another edition of the Shorter Sports Radio. Once again, I'm your host, Tyler Cates, and opening up today in my opening comments, I just want to say good luck to all of the Shorter baseball players who are participating in Scout Day today here at Shorter University. Um, Best of luck to all you guys. We're all pulling for you. I know all of you have been working hard this fall. So go out, do what you do, and try and impress some people. But back to the show. This weekend is a big weekend for all Shorter sports. Volleyball is heading to Cleveland, Tennessee to take on the lead tomorrow. Men's and women's soccer both host University of West Florida. Tonight at home. And then football will be on the road at Gardner Webb. Also, it's a big weekend in college football. A lot of teams, we're getting toward the halfway point of the season, and a lot of teams fighting for positioning not only in their respective conferences, but also in the top 25. But thank you all for tuning in today. I have a feeling it's going to be this is going to be a great show. Actually, not a pretty good show. We're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll be talking Shorter volleyball. What's up, guys, and welcome back. We are discussing Shorter University volleyball right now. Tuesday night, the volleyball team traveled to Florence, Alabama, to take on the University of North Alabama Lady Lions. The match didn't really go as well as they would hope for. They ended up dropping it 3-0, but UNA has a really, really good team this year. They're actually ranked second so far in the conference behind West Florida. And West Florida always has a good team. Team came out, they played really good. If I'm not mistaken, the final score to set 1 and set 2 was 25-22 UNA. So kept it close. Just wasn't able to get over the hump per se. But they got a chance tomorrow, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern against Lee University, traveling to Cleveland, Tennessee to take them on. Should be a good game. I know they've been working hard in practice these past couple of days. But the standings so far, and standings as of today, October 6th, in volleyball is West Florida is number 1, North Al's number 2, West Al's 3, Lee's 4, Valdosta State is 5, UAH is 6th, Shorter's coming in at 7th, Montevallo is 8th, Christian Brothers is 9th, Union's 10th, Mississippi College is 11th, Auburn Montgomery coming in 12th, and then West Georgia is coming in 13th. Lee actually stayed the same from last week. The only changes that have taken place from actually Monday, not last week, from Monday in the conference standings were UAH dropped from 5th to 6th, and Valdosta State moved up from 7th to 5th. So, as I said, every conference game, every Gulf South Conference game that any of our teams play from here out is a big game to not only determine whether you get in a tournament or not, but also to determine seeding, and seeding can play a huge role in your postseason aspirations. So, big game tomorrow against Lee University at Cleveland, Tennessee. That opening serve, I guess what you would call it. It's taking place at 1 p.m. Eastern. Encourage all of you guys, if you're on campus and don't have anything to do, take a short little 45-minute drive up the road to Lee University. I traveled up there last year actually for a basketball game. They have a really, really nice gym. But if you haven't got anything going on, travel up to Lee. support the volleyball team. I know they'd really appreciate it. But looking ahead on the schedule, after our contest with Lee tomorrow, the volleyball team will be traveling to Hoover, Alabama to play in a GSC SSC crossover tournament on October 13th and October 14th. I don't know anything about that tournament, but I have a feeling it'll be a big tournament, help us get some more experience and game experience. Then they'll be back home on October 17th to take on Auburn Montgomery. Travel to the University of West Georgia October 20th. West Florida at home October 27th. And then Valdosta State at home on October 28th. Then we'll have Lee at home on Halloween night, October 31st. University of Montevallo at home. November 3rd, West Georgia at home on November 4th, and that'll actually be senior night. Then Valdosta State at Valdosta State November 9th, and then at West Florida to round out the year on November 11th, and then the tournament starts on the 17th. So, big stretch of games coming up here for the Volleyball Hawks. We're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we will be discussing shorter football traveling to Bowling Springs. Oh, I got the right schedule, just can't find it. Shorter football traveling to Bowling Springs, North Carolina to take on Division I FCS opponent Gardner Webb. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll be back in a little bit. Welcome back, guys. It's now time to talk about some shorter university football. As I said on my show Monday, the football team traveled to Livingston, Alabama to take on the University of West Alabama Tigers. Unfortunately, that game didn't go as well as anybody on the shorter side would have hoped, as we got shut out in the game 61-0. But taking on Division I FCS opponent this week in Bowling Springs, North Carolina, Gardner Webb this weekend. And as I said Monday also, if you weren't able to catch it, Gardner Webb lost a close game to Wofford University. If I'm not mistaken, the final score was 24-22. So, big game for the Hawks this weekend. Even if they don't go to Gardner Webb and get a W, it's always a good game to get some work in. It doesn't matter if you're playing a team in your conference, a team in your division, or a JUCO team, or heck, it don't even matter if you're going out there and playing the Atlanta Falcons. Every game's always a good game to work on things and get ready for the next week, especially when you got a big opponent like the University of North Alabama coming up the very next weekend. So, hoping for our guys this weekend to go out, have a good game, get better, work on some things that Coach Kelton is wanting them to work on, and hopefully get ready and prepared to take on North Alabama next weekend in conference play. Taking a look ahead at what the football team has coming up after this weekend. October 14th at Rome, or here in Rome, we'll be hosting the University of North Alabama Lions. That's a 1 p.m. kickoff Then the following week, October 21st, we'll be taking on the University of West Florida Argonauts. That will be homecoming. That is a 1 p.m. kickoff also. I encourage each and every person who can to come down for homecoming and cheer on the Hawks, take part in some of the festivities that are going on. Then on that Thursday, October 26th, will be taking on University of West Georgia, 7 p.m. Eastern kickoff time. That is the GSC TV Game of the Week. So the game will be airing on ESPN3. Then on November 4th, we'll be taking on Mississippi College in Clinton, Mississippi, 3 p.m. kickoff time. And then to round out the year, on November 11th, we'll be taking on we'll be taking on Valdosta State, not the University of Valdosta State. We'll be taking on Valdosta State at Barron Stadium. That'll be senior day on November 11th. That'll be a 1:30 kickoff. As I said, you can catch the West Georgia game on the 26th on ESPN3, GSC TV Game of the Week. But every shorter football game you can tune into and listen to on 99.5 The Jock. That's the local ESPN radio station here in Rome. And you can either do that on your car radio, or you can go to 995thejock.com and listen to it online, or go to goshorterhawks.com. Go to football schedule, push listen, and it should redirect you to a place where you can listen to the game online. So, shorter football travels to Gardner Webb tomorrow, Bowling Springs, North Carolina, 1:30 kickoff time. Game will be on 99.5 The Jock. Gardner Webb may have a video thing that you can tune into. So, good luck to the football team tomorrow. Hope they can pull one out. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we get back, we'll be discussing shorter men's and women's soccer as both of them host West Florida tonight in a big conference showdown. What's up, guys, and welcome back. So as I said before the break, both the men's and the women's soccer team have big games. Tonight against the University of West Florida. The women's last game was at West Georgia on October 1st, which would have been Sunday, and they lost that game 2-1. Men's last game was September 29th. That was at Lee. They lost that game 2-0. I know West Florida usually every year has lost my train of thought. I know West Florida every year usually has pretty good soccer teams. My freshman year, the guys' game, the men's soccer game against West Florida, I came to. It kind of got heated and benches cleared for a little bit, but the refs got it back under control. So the women tonight will kick off at 5 p.m. and the men will kick off right after their game, scheduled to start around 7:30. So come out and support your shorter men's and women's soccer teams as they take on University of West Florida this weekend. Looking at the women's schedule, they'll be hosting Valdosta State here in Rome on October 8th, which will be Sunday at 2 p.m. Then after that, they'll be going to Montevallo, Alabama, to take on the University of Montevallo on the 13th, to Auburn Montgomery on the 15th, and then they'll be back home on the 18th to take on Spring Hill. Also back home on the 20th to take on West Al. And then senior night will be October 22nd, as we'll host UAH Chargers. And then they'll round out the year on October 26th against Lee University at Lee. Men's schedule. As I said, they got the game tonight against West Florida. Then on Sunday at 3:30, they'll be taking on Spring Hill. The 13th, they'll be going to University of Montevallo. 15th, be going to Auburn Montgomery. 20th, be hosting West Al. 22nd, Be hosting University of Alabama Huntsville. And then on the 28th will be Senior Day as they take on the University of Tampa. Big conference games coming up here for actually every game that both the men and women's soccer team have from here out, except the men's Senior Day against Tampa is a conference game. So big games here down the stretch for the Hawks, and I'll be out there at the games tonight. So be sure to swing by, say hey, watch a little shorter soccer. Have a good night. But we're going to take a quick break, and after the break we will be discussing some SEC and top 25 football. I'll have my SEC game of the week, and then I'll have my top 25 national game of the week. So, see you all in a bit. What's up, guys, and welcome back. So, this week in the SEC, not many games going on. You have number 5 University of Georgia. You have the number 5 Georgia Bulldogs traveling to Nashville, Tennessee, to take on the Vanderbilt Commodores. That is a noon Eastern kickoff. Also at noon, you have the Ole Miss Rebels traveling down on the plains to take on the Auburn Tigers. Then at 4 p.m. you have the Arkansas Razorbacks traveling to the University of South Carolina. 7:15 you have University of Alabama traveling to College Station, Texas, to take on the Texas A&M Aggies. And then to round out the SEC schedule for the night, you have the Missouri Tigers traveling to Lexington, Kentucky, to take on the Kentucky Wildcats. And then at 3:30, you have the CBS SEC Game of the Week, which is also my SEC Game of the Week. You have the LSU Tigers traveling to Gainesville, Florida, to take on the number 21 Florida Gators. Should be a good week in SEC football. So my predictions for who's going to get a win and who's going to take an L this week in the SEC. Just going from top to bottom. Georgia is going to beat Vanderbilt. Georgia's probably going to run all over Vanderbilt like they did Tennessee last week. Auburn's going to handle business at home against Ole Miss. Arkansas is going to handle business against South Carolina. Alabama's going to beat Texas A&M. Even though Texas A&M has a pretty good team, that's probably going to be the second best game this weekend. And then Kentucky is going to take care of business at home against Missouri. Now for the prediction for the SEC Game of the Week. As you all know, I said my Game of the Week last week that Tennessee was going to beat Georgia. I was dead wrong. So this week, I'm going to call an upset. Say LSU is going to come out firing and be extremely ticked off about their performance last week against Troy. I believe LSU will go to Gainesville and get a win against Florida. It's not going to be by much, maybe a field goal. But I do, honestly, in my heart, more than the Tennessee-Georgia one, believe that LSU will turn the ship around and travel to Gainesville and get a win against the Florida Gators. And good news for all the Vols fans listening, we're on a bye, so we can't lose this week. Now for the top 25. There's an upset last night. Number 24, North Carolina State beat number 17, Louisville, 39-25. 12 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2, you've got number 2 Clemson Tigers taking on Wake Forest in the ACC showdown. 12 p.m. Eastern on Fox, you've got the number 3 Oklahoma Sooners led by Baker Mayfield taking on the Iowa State Cyclones in a Big 12 showdown. 12 p.m. Eastern on ABC, you've got number 4 Penn State taking on Northwestern. That should be a pretty good game. Then you've got the Georgia-Vandy game at 12 p.m. on ESPN. You got the Auburn-Mississippi State game at 12 p.m. on the SEC Network. You got the Florida-LSU game at 3:30 on CBS. You've got Notre Dame and North Carolina taking on each other on ABC. Notre Dame is... The schedule has 2 number 21 teams. So Notre Dame and Florida are both number 21. But you got Notre Dame and North Carolina 3:30 Eastern on ABC. Then at 4 p.m. Eastern, you've got University of Southern California Trojans, who are ranked 14th, taking on Oregon State on the Pac network. Don't remember what Pac they are. I think they're the Pac-12 network. Then at 7:15, you got number 1 Alabama taking on Texas A&M on ESPN. Also at 7:15 on ESPN2, you've got number 16 Virginia Tech taking on Boston College. 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ABC, you've got Michigan State and Michigan. Michigan comes in 4-0 and ranked number 7th. That's the Saturday college football primetime game there. 7:30 Eastern on ABC. Game is always a good game. For those of you who don't remember, it was 2 or 3 years ago. Michigan State pulled it off because the Michigan punter fumbled the snap, then tried to kick it and got spun around for a whirly bird, and Michigan State picked it up and just pranced it in the end zone. Then at 8 p.m. Eastern on the Big Ten Network, you have number 9 Wisconsin taking on Nebraska. 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox, you got number 11 Washington State taking on Oregon. Also 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2, on ESPNU, not ESPN2, you've got number 25 University of Central Florida taking on Cincinnati. At 10:15 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1, you got Utah and Stanford, or number 20 Utah taking on Stanford. 10:45 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, you got number 6 Washington taking on Cal. And then also to round it out at 10:45 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2, you got number 19 San Diego State University taking on the University of taking on UNLV. That game is scheduled to be at Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas. Should be an emotional game due to the recent tragedy that took place in Las Vegas. Prayers for everybody who is out there. But now my predictions for this weekend. Clemson, as much as I hate to say it, they're probably going to run all over Wake Forest. Hope my boy DJ Taylor and Wake Forest keep it close, make it a game. They had a nice game last week against Florida State. Almost pulled out an upset. Oklahoma and Baker Mayfield are going to be too much for Iowa State. Also, it's in Norman at Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. Number 4 Penn State going to beat Northwestern. Already said Georgia's going to beat Vandy. Auburn's going to beat Mississippi State. 2 key games that I'm watching, or that you need to be watching out for this weekend, is the number 23 West Virginia and the number 8 TCU game at 3:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1. That's actually the only top 25 matchup, or the only matchup this weekend between 2 top 25 teams. I believe TCU is going to pull that one out against West Virginia. And also another big game to look out for is in the ACC. Also kicks off at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. It's number 13 Miami and Florida State. The game's on ESPN. I believe that Mark Richt and Miami will be too much for the Seminoles, who are having a down year this year at 1-2. I already said LSU is going to beat Florida. Notre Dame is going to go into Raleigh and take one from North Carolina. North Carolina is 1-4 this year, kind of having a down year. USC's more than likely going to dominate Oregon State. USC's 4-1. Oregon State's 1-4. Already said Alabama's going to stay undefeated as they travel to College Station. Virginia Tech looked pretty good last weekend against Clemson, so they're going to beat Boston College. Then the Michigan Michigan game. Michigan's going to pull that game out. It's at the Big House, Michigan Stadium. Wisconsin's going to beat Nebraska. Washington State, who's a kind of a surprise team to me, got the win against USC last week. 5-0, number 11. Number 11, I believe they're going to beat Oregon. Central Florida's going to beat Cincinnati. I'm actually going to call an upset. Stanford over Utah. Game is in Utah. Game's at Utah. I think the Cardinals are just too good. It's going to be a close game, tightly contested game, but I believe Stanford's going to pull it out against Utah. Washington's going to beat Cal, and San Diego State's going to stay undefeated and go to 6-0 as they're going to defeat UNLV this weekend. That is it for the college football segment. We are going to take a very, very quick break, and when we get back, we will have the closing comments. Thank you all for listening. Alright guys, welcome back to the closing comments. Just to open up the closing comments here, as I said last segment, prayers go out to the victims of the shooting in Las Vegas. I hate to see things like that happen. It's just it's a big tragedy. I hope that the families of the victims will be able to eventually cope with the loss of their family member. But prayers out to them. On a brighter note, the Yankees lost last night. The Cleveland Indians took Game 1 last night in the ALDS from the New York Yankees. Trevor Bauer, 6 2/3, great innings for the Indians. And also, the Houston Astros beat the Boston Red Sox in Game 1 of their side of the ALDS. The little man, Mighty Mouse, me if I was born in a Spanish-speaking country, Jose Altuve hit 3 bombs yesterday. So ALDS is shaping up to be a good one. I honestly believe whoever wins the Boston-Houston series will be the AL representative for the World Series this year. And also, on a final note, the inaugural SAC Sand Volleyball Tournament will be Thursday, October 26th, at the Sand Court here at Shorter. It is $20 per team of 4. Teams must be co-ed, so you must have 2 boys and 2 girls. It'll get started off at 4 p.m. and it'll last until the championship game. You can email Lane Fletcher. And his email is lane.fletcher@hawks.shorter.edu. Or you can also email Victoria Overby. Her email is victoria.overby, OVERBY, at hawks.shorter.edu to sign up, or you can meet a SAC representative outside the CAF during regular lunch hours to sign up. There will be food and there will be prizes. Flyers should be going out today, and all the money that you donate while you're signing up will go to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. That is the SAC organization's biggest. That's who the SAC organization works closely with. So all the money that we raise will go directly to Make-A-Wish to help a kid get his wish fulfilled. And also, if we raise a certain amount of money, we'll actually be able to grant a wish here on the campus of Shorter University. I think it'll be a great thing to do. I'm honored to be a part of SAC, and another way to hopefully help make a difference in someone's life. So that's all I have for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. If there's any part of the show that you missed, you can friend me on Facebook at Tyler Cates, and you can watch the replay of the live of the Facebook live feed. That'll be posted on my Facebook page, or you can tune into YouTube and catch kind of the podcast version of it. But once again, guys, thank you all for tuning in today. Hope you have a great and safe weekend. Midterms are coming up, so hit the books hard, study hard, keep your grades up. Have a great weekend, guys. Be safe, and I will see you all again Monday at 12:30. Later.